Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. Today I just wanted to go over a bit about my last 6 months and a bit about my plans for the next 6 months pretty well. So for those who don't know, I was on a 6-month trip through Central and South America. It was amazing, but I'm finally back home and I'm really excited to start working on improving stuff about my video quality, coming up with just generally better videos and more frequently. Also, I just want to talk a little bit about what I did over the last 6 months. But I'm going to start with my plans for the future because I know not everyone is interested in stuff like that. So I made a list of stuff I wanted to improve over the next 6 months in my last few weeks of my trip. Now, to start off, the first one was improve my audio quality. So as soon as I got home, I went and bought a new microphone. I bought the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. It's a dynamic microphone on Amazon. It cost about $100, so it's actually not super expensive and definitely a noticeable increase in the audio quality, especially for background noise. Like before, I had to use post-processing to edit out a ton of background noise, and it definitely reduced the audio quality. Now I don't even have to do anything, so it's actually going to speed up my video recording process overall. Of course, I'm still getting used to this microphone. You have to stand very close to it, and I just got this really crappy boom arm flying around, so I'm still kind of getting used to how that works. Overall, this is probably a solid upgrade and probably worth the money. I had that other really crappy microphone for way too long, so I'm pretty happy to get a new one. So number 2 is something I kind of was working on my trip, and that is improving my video recording. Now, that doesn't just mean higher quality recordings, but I want to make sure that everything's framed properly, just coming up with better software to make things easier. So since I left, I've upgraded my RuneScape client to begin with, so now I'm using RuneLite. It has a lot more features and is just generally quicker and better responsive for recording, even though my desktop computer is fairly decent. I've changed my recording software. Before I was using Camtasia Studio, but I found I had lots of bugs and had to use a lot of convoluted methods to combine clips and audio together and stuff like that. Now the software I'm using now is OBS, or Open Broadcasting Software, or something like that. It's actually the software most people use to stream, but it's actually very good for video recording as well. The reason OBS is better is that you can actually create a somewhat of a frame, and it doesn't just straight up record your screen. It'll take elements of your screen and you can organize them in different ways and just make up exactly how you want your recording. It's not like just straight up using like a video camera on your screen. It's actually interactive and integrated right into your applications. So speaking of streaming, I would like to stream at least once per week. I'm never going to be like focused on streaming because YouTube has been my main thing for a while. But so obviously if you can stream gameplay while you're playing, it's kind of just beneficial for everyone. I get something to do while I'm grinding out or playing RuneScape, and you guys will probably get more content overall. Number 4 on my list is I want to stick to a better schedule. Obviously, while I was gone, it was a lot harder to stick to a set schedule. I was really just making the videos whenever I had a chance. So now that I'm back, I would like to have specific days off and stick to probably 4 to 5 videos a week. Also, to begin with here, I'm going to try to get one out every day for a little while. Next up, I just want to talk about some new video ideas I have for the future and what you guys think about it. So to start off here, I did the Slayer Only Iron Man episode a few days ago. You guys seem to really like it, and I'm really excited to work more on that series. I need to go over the rules a little bit more. The whole point of the series for me was to have a little bit of an added challenge so that I can make an Iron Man and be a little bit more unique from everyone else. I personally think the rules I put in place are going to make it a little more challenging, but still fun for me, because if it's a tedious grind for me, it's going to take a lot longer for the episodes to come out and a lot more likely for me to drop it if it's not entertaining. So I don't know what you guys think about it. Obviously, a lot of people left comments on saying like, oh, you bought stuff from this shop. A lot of people have ideas, so I'm going to go over them and just see if I should change it up at all or just leave it the way it is. Another video idea I had is, if you don't know, I actually do a lot of flipping in real life. So I was thinking of maybe doing like a $0 to $1,000 flipping series, starting with like $10 or $100. Mostly I buy stuff from garage sales or thrift stores, sometimes from retail outlets, and just flip them on Amazon and eBay. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. Obviously, it's kind of related to my channel, but not really related at the same time. I probably wouldn't do a lot of those, maybe just every once in a while, just show my progress. Also, it motivates me to actually go do it. More videos I would like to do is a little more in-depth update videos. I want to go maybe make a kind of combined video maybe once a week of any updates that came into the game, maybe top of the week kind of thing. So like Reddit posts, interesting Reddit posts like suggestions and stuff. I probably wouldn't talk about too much about memes and maybe some other things that are going on within the old school RuneScape community, but I don't want to frame it like one of those top RuneScape channels where they're just very clickbaity and just about streamers and stuff like that. It'd be more about information and updates and suggestions, stuff like that. Last up, I would like to maybe make a couple travel videos. Obviously, I know you guys won't be that interested in it, so I kind of can appreciate that. You totally don't have to watch them. I wouldn't, honestly, if someone came and showed me like some pictures from their trip, I normally don't give a shit. I'm kind of hypocritical that way. Anyway, guys, that's about all my plans for the future. For any of you guys who are just interested in that, that's pretty much going to be the end of my plans. Next, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my last 6 months, what it was like to haul around that fucking laptop forever and make RuneScape videos on the road, a bit of where we went, what I liked, what I didn't like, what was dangerous, stuff like that. Anyway, so my last 6 months were amazing. We left in the end of January and we flew into Central America. We went to like Nicaragua, Costa Rica, all those warm Central American places. That was back in the time when I thought I could still get like 2 or 3 videos out a week. I had about 10 videos stockpiled at that time. So definitely not enough to last 6 months without making videos. So the way I mostly did it was actually in hostel rooms. It was a bit of a pain in the ass because my old microphone would pick up a lot of random noises like birds, dish clinking, sometimes people talking, or like some idiot throwing something against the wall. So for the 6 months, we pretty much spent the entirety of it in hostels, Airbnbs, hotels occasionally, and sometimes some people's houses. So in Central America, we went to Panama, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua, and I think Nicaragua is probably my favorite at the time. Now it's not so safe to visit there because there's some sort of dictatorship or something going on, so it's not super safe to go there currently. Nicaragua, we went to this like idyllic island on the Caribbean side. It's just like absolutely perfect. And I remember we took this extremely sketchy boat ride between these 2 islands. Actually, probably the most scary boat ride I've ever taken because they called it a ferry, but their standards of ferries are different than mine. Like, I think a ferry boat, I think like a 10,000 passenger giant vessel that goes through the ocean. Theirs was like a canoe, probably maybe a little bigger than a canoe with like a motor on it. And I just had my laptop with me too. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my laptop in the middle of this ridiculous ocean? But another interesting thing we did in Nicaragua was volcano boarding. Went to the top of this volcano and slid down on a toboggan. I wanted to do it on a snowboard, but they wouldn't let me. Obviously, we spent a lot of time surfing and just hanging out on the beaches. So after we kind of made it down to Panama, we flew to Colombia because there's actually a little bit of land there. While it's connected, you can't actually pass it. It's called the Darien Gap. Some people will venture through it, but it's so dangerous for so many different reasons. For one, it's a jungle. There's no roads, tons of animals and dangerous insects and stuff like that. But also there are like bandits and pirates that live within the jungles and like drug lords that will literally just murder you right away. So it's extremely dangerous. A couple of people have done it, but we decided not to, so we flew to Colombia. From Colombia, we went down through Ecuador and Peru. We did a ton of hikes and multi-day treks and stuff like that. Once we got down to Peru, we went to Machu Picchu, as you may have seen in that one video I made randomly. Machu Picchu was awesome. Once you get down to Peru and into the mountains, one thing that's noteworthy is it's very hard to breathe because the altitude is so high. We did one hike at one point that went over 5,000 meters. That was called the Rainbow Mountain. Maybe show some pictures on screen. But if you consider that the Everest base camp is pretty similar to that height, you'll kind of understand it is really hard to breathe. People get altitude sickness, people pass out. So that was intense, but also amazing. Being that high in the mountains is pretty cool for me. I really enjoy it. After that, we made it down to Bolivia. One amazing thing we did there was we went to the salt flats. I know there are some salt flats in the States somewhere, but it's well known for just being cool to look at. But also, it's one of the world's largest mirrors. So when there's a little layer of water on it, it'll reflect it perfectly. So you can't even tell which is the sky and what is the ground. If you go look up the Uyuni salt flats, you'll see some pretty cool pictures of people and the reflections. After there, we flew all the way back to Central America, met up with some friends, and now we're home. So that was just kind of a quick, brief overview of it. Really happy with how it went. It's good to be home. Being on the road that long is kind of weird when it's just a trip. Obviously, I had a purpose, as in I was making videos, but at the same time, it's kind of long for a vacation. You get bored with doing the same things after a while, and you need kind of some kind of structure in your life after that amount of time. If I was to go somewhere for 6 months again, I'd make sure I had a job or a work away or something like that I was doing. Because a 6-month extended vacation is fun, but after a while, you just kind of want to get back to working on your life, I suppose. Anyway, guys, that's about it. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too long. Maybe I'll take a moment and upload some pictures from my trip if you're interested. Alright guys, that's about it. I would definitely recommend going to South America and Central America. Obviously, it's a huge, diverse place, so it really depends on where you go. But I had an amazing time, met a lot of great people, and it's very diverse, lots of things. Thanks for watching, guys, if you stuck around to the end, and I will see you next time.